Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Thursday, June 9th. This is episode 128 of Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief. I'm your host, Gerald Auger, and over the next 30 minutes, I'll be delivering the top cybersecurity news of the day and providing expert analysis on each of these stories, what it means to you as a practitioner, or if you're looking to break in the industry, we got something for you. Shout out and thanks to this stream sponsor, Barricade Cyber Solutions. Cyber criminals have stolen your company's data and derailed your business operations. Barricade Cyber Solutions will help you resolve this ransomware attack and get your business back on track. I want to remind you, if you hold professional certifications that require CPEs, each episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth half a CPE, which stacks, right? So 2.5 a week, 10 a month. Be sure to document literally the easiest and I would argue the most enjoyable way to earn CPEs. Just say what's up in chat. See, Anthony Gibbs just said good morning, everybody. Boom. Auditable evidence that Anthony Gibbs was here. Paul Cummins is getting credit. Jim Wales, half CPEs all around. It's like you get a half CPE. You get a half CPE. If you're live, love it. I see 34 of you in here. Coming on in. That's all right. We'll be piling up as we go through the show. If you're watching on replay, thanks for catching the stream. Be sure to drop a comment so you also get credit for that CPE and just so we can know that you're part of the Simply Cyber community. So if you want to do the pleasantries, that's more than cool. But if you're watching on replay, just scrub to the right until we get to 0 on that timer in the corner, and we will start the daily threat briefing. But for the next 2 minutes and 50 seconds or so, I will be getting the music started and welcoming people into chat. So good morning, Kimberly. Kimberly, what do you think of the shirt, huh? cybersecuritycentral.org, right? Helping people find what's going on. Let's get this music started. Yeah. There we go. All right. Good morning, Usha. Hey, buenos dias, Rod Willard. Good to see you. Ryan Spishak. Good morning. Good morning. Bill Green. Hey, what's up? Yeah, we almost made it to the end of the week. Friday is right around the corner. Can't wait. Drinking out of my new US Cyber Games official coffee mug. So I appreciate them shooting that over there so I could drink coffee out of it. Guys, also, I've cut sugar out of my coffee. So I've slowly been winnowing it down. I switched to agave for a hot minute, but I don't really like it. And now I'm going just cowboy, straight black coffee. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, well, Olis Arins, to get the CPEs, you have to attend the entire briefing. But just saying what's up is auditable. It's like, basically a CPE is one CPE is 1 hour of content consumed. Since the show is usually about half an hour, I just safe say it's a half hour, half a CPE. So yeah, just say what's up. There is a bit of integrity associated with it. You can't just say hi and then bail, because then, you're being unethical. Hey, Anna Lynn. Black coffee is good. Jack Landsberg, good to see you. Blackmeister. Well, welcome. It is the way, right? Black coffee. It is good. Oh, Carrie used to drink rocket fuel 4 to 5 cups a day. Wow. Good grief. That's high. That's high, man. What's up, KO Ken? Jamila. Hey, Jamila. I appreciate you. I saw the nice comments on LinkedIn. Very good. CPE stackable like pancakes, Eduardo. Yep. If you're here every day, that's 2.5 CPEs. What I would argue is if you're going to document your CPEs, do not document them as like half. Don't do a half. That would be brutal in actually documenting your CPEs. What I would do is maybe once a month, once every couple months. If you're attending daily, say, 10 CPEs, Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Briefing, and just leave it at that. I've done that like where I go to a DEF CON and I'll document like 35 CPEs, or I'll do a semester, college semester for a course, and I'll say 40 CPEs or whatever it is. So yeah, don't break it down into individual events, because you'll just want to rip your hair out dealing with the documentation systems. What's up, Eric Taylor? Good to see you. All right, guys, looks like we're at time. Nathan Bolin, good to see you. Let me take one more slug of this coffee. Real quick, crack 'em. CPEs are continuing professional education. Sometimes they're called CEUs or continuing education units. Basically, when you get a certification, in addition to having to pay an annual um, fee for the pleasure of keeping that certification, the certification body wants to make sure that you didn't get like a CISSP and then become, a tractor trailer driver for 25 years. And now you're going to break back into the industry and say you're a CISP. So you have to stay kind of engaged and current in the industry. And by doing that, um, the way you document it is through CPE. So you use CPEs to prove that you're staying up to date on what's up. All right, let's do this. All right, so hold on, one more sip of coffee, guys. I was up late with the Celtics game. What's up? Always learning. Good to see you, Akeem. What's up? All right, here we go. You guys know the routine. If you want to play along, go to cisoseries.com. We pull our stories from there. But otherwise, sit back, relax, and we will dive into this morning's threat brief.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
It's Thursday, June 9th, 2022. Lack of reporting hurting the ransomware fight. In an interview, CISA's Executive Assistant Director for Cybersecurity, Eric Goldstein, said the severe lack of ransomware incident reporting to the U.S. government is both hampering its ability to protect organizations, but also to retaliate proportionately to ransomware gangs. Goldstein makes the case that more consistent and comprehensive reporting would let CISA share indicators of compromise and outline unique infrastructure characteristics of ransomware families. CISA currently has no accurate scope of the number of ransomware incidents, leading to a speculative approach to sampled data that might not reflect what's actually occurring on the ground.
Okay, this is really interesting. So they're talking about how ransomware incident reporting is a small fraction of what is actually happening. And this used to be the case with just cybersecurity incidents, maybe 10 years ago. And the argument was that businesses wouldn't want to report that they were impacted from a cybersecurity incident because it could hurt share prices. It could erode confidence in their business from other business partners wanting to do business with them. So this is interesting, but I find this really to me, this is surprising, okay? Because I feel like we see tons of ransomware incident reporting, and most ransomware incidents go through insurance at this point, right? Like almost all businesses have cyber insurance pretty much because of ransomware. And Eric Taylor, maybe you can comment on this, but I feel like, once it goes through the insurance company, I don't know if the insurance companies have relationships or requirements for reporting to the US government, but there's no shady like, oh, I got hit with ransomware. I'm just going to keep this to myself. Like, so I find this statement startling by Eric Goldstein. Now, it looks like they're actually talking about implementing some type of reporting legislation. See, a cyber incident reporting bill was passed and signed into law earlier, but only covers critical infrastructure. Okay, here's another thing. You say there's like a gross amount of underreporting, but this bill requires critical infrastructure. Have you guys seen what qualifies as critical infrastructure? It's like most everything except retail, right? Like just really quick, critical infrastructure. This is from President Obama's executive order, I think 16396 or something. But look at this. Okay, these are the critical infrastructures. I'm going off on a little tangent, but like critical manufacturing, so basically all manufacturing, defense industrial base, anyone that does anything with the DoD, energy, food, healthcare, wastewater, transportation, IT, financials. Come on, like this is everything. I challenge you to find something that isn't in here. Nathan Boland's ice cream shop is about it, and even that might fall under food and agriculture, right? So, I don't know. This I don't know. I almost wonder if this is some type of if this is accurately genuine that there is a gross under amount of reporting of ransomware, or if this is some type of um, posturing in order to further drive legislation around private sector incident reporting. I don't know.
CISA warns of China-linked network snooping. A joint advisory from the NSA, CISA, and FBI warned that hacking groups with links to China have been exploiting publicly available vulnerabilities in small office and home office routers to gain access to enterprise networks. Once these routers are compromised, the threat actors use them as part of their own attack infrastructure, either as C2 servers or proxy systems. From there, the attackers steal credentials to access SQL databases, using commands to dump credentials from critical remote authentication dial-in service servers, letting them subsequently authenticate further router commands. It's believed these tactics have been used since 2020. Routers from Cisco, Citrix, Fortinet, Netgear, and QNAP are among those impacted.
Okay. Yeah. Look at look at all this. Okay. This great graphic, by the way. Like this picture, terrible. This graphic, excellent. And you can't really see the threat. The victim is right there under my big head. So this is interesting and not surprising. Okay, so we've seen People's Republic of China, state-sponsored cyber threat actors attacking different organizations. Now they're saying attacking telcos, but think about this. What they're effectively doing is they're taking advantage. This is not, by the way, this is not nation state level threat actor activity. Like we could do this. Not that I say we should, but this just this just reinforces the idea that like next level hackers, military grade threat actors, they don't need to burn 0 days or reverse, hack the Gibson in order to get stuff, right? You can just use Shodan. Like, let's go from left to right on this thing. Number one, use Shodan. Find a bunch of network devices that are vulnerable to any of these. Okay. Step two, exploit them. No big deal, right? Step three, you're inside. Then you start, using info stealers to harvest whatever you want. And then step four, leverage the victim's machine because they're working from home because of pandemic or this new normal of like everybody works from wherever they want, and go across their VPN to attack their enterprise. And you're going to look like a legit user because we allow VPN connections to end users, right? So this is not, I guess maybe step three could be a little sexy simply because you might be using like a some type of vacuum malware that sucks up credentials and stuff like that. But this is what they're doing, and this is, I don't want to say basic, but it's effective, right? So be mindful. I mean, when was the last time you thought about your home router that AT&T dropped in your house or Verizon dropped in your house? When was the last time you updated the firmware on that? You tell me, right? So this is what's going on. Be mindful.
Personal Information Marketplace taken down. An operation by the FBI, IRS, Department of Justice, and Cyprus Police seized the infrastructure of the SSNDOB marketplace, including 4 domains, which listed personal information on roughly 24 million Americans for sale. The analyst company Chainalysis estimates the marketplace received $22 million worth of Bitcoin over 100,000 transactions since April 2015, although the DOJ pegs this at a slightly more modest $19 million. The site has been online since 2013. This comes as U.S. law enforcement has ramped up efforts to shut down dark web markets over the past year.
Absolutely. And we have seen this repeatedly in the news. Um, these dark web marketplaces going down. They just said that Alphabay was back. And I predicted that Alphabay would be taken down in the next 6 months or before the end of 2022. This is just another domain seizure. Guys, I love the international law enforcement collaboration, coordination. They're getting much better at not, you know, being this is my jurisdiction. Now back off, right? Like it's much more like, listen, criminals, threat actors, cybercrime, they don't recognize borders, right? It's not like it's we're an Estonian based cyber gang and we attack in Estonia, right? Like the idea that the internet gives you access to the world increases the attack surface to the world. So no one cares about borders anymore. So the construct of law enforcement being geographically confined of what their jurisdiction is doesn't map to the modern criminal ecosystem. So I love that they've figured it out, and now they're collaborating together in a joint law enforcement, Interpol, Europol, FBI, DOJ, etc., in the Cyprus police. Cyprus police. Way to go, Cyprus. So this is just, to me, demonstrating that this is working. This collaboration is working, and we're taking down these marketplaces. I hope not just taking them down, but actually holding the administrators accountable in some type of judicial way, right? Like, basically punishment associated with it in order to give pause to the next person who wants to stand up the next dark web marketplace or commit cybercrime.
Cybersecurity job postings surge. According to a new report from CyberSeek, a joint initiative between NIST, National Initiative for Cybersecurity Education, the analytics firm MC Burning Glass, and CompTIA, employers added 714,000 more cybersecurity jobs over the last 12 months compared to the year before, up 40%. Of these new job postings, 40% came in the first 4 months of 2022, indicating this surge is particularly recent. Most jobs were in the finance and insurance industries. Senior positions saw particular growth, with IT manager and director listings up 224%, while program manager openings increased 169%. The growth in the cybersecurity job listings outpaced demand in the broader labor market, with job listings there up 18%.
All right. Can we get some Oprah emotes in chat from the squad people? You get a job. You get a job. You get a job. Okay, listen. I know for many of you who are trying to get into the industry, this news story is infuriating on a level that is almost uncontrollable. They are pulling their data from CyberSeek, which is it's actually a cool little site. It's by the NIST, the NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, the NICE, which is the National Initiative of Cybersecurity Employment. I believe that's what it is. You could see this website is pretty cool, but they have job numbers, and that's where they're pulling their data from in this instance. You can use this site, by the way, to look at different industries. We talked about, well, you can't see it because there's a pop-up here, but it has all the different industries, type of work and stuff like that. What state you work in or want to work in, right? So say you want to move to sunny South Carolina. Maybe you want to go visit Kimberly in Miami, right? Let's see what's going on in Miami. You can do that. And there you go. So now this is a cool little website. Okay. Now let's get back to the actual problem at hand. There's a surge in jobs. Okay, that's cool. They did say that a lot of the growth was at the senior level. So directors, program managers, these type of things. So why are we seeing this, and what does this mean to you guys? Okay, so first of all, unfortunately, this is like it's like a club, right? Like if you're already in, then you can find there's growth upward, but you don't break into a director role. Normally, there are exceptions. What this does mean, though, and take heart, okay? If they are hiring director level positions, that means essentially that organizations are realizing that they need real cybersecurity and not checkbox cybersecurity, right? They're also probably being heavily incentivized by their insurance company to get their crap together in order to get an insurance policy that doesn't cost 8x whatever last year's premium was. When you hire these directors, the directors are going to come in. I've done this enough times now that like basically there is a pattern. Director is going to come in, look at the current state of things. If you have nothing in place, they're going to start building something. And if they have something in place, they're going to identify the gaps and start fixing them. This will come with hiring a staff effectively. Okay. So take this as kind of a canary in the coal mine or an indicator that there will, and this is from last year, right? So I would expect more junior level jobs to begin appearing this year or at the beginning of next year. Now, the United States recession is, and by the way, this is within the United States only. So to our international members of the Simply Cyber community, I I'm sorry. I wish this applied more to you too, but the recession in the United States may suppress some of the growth on those entry level jobs, but I would imagine that there's going to be some. Not to mention with this far ruling and the CMMC in whatever version it is right now coming, there's going to be a lot of GRC jobs, a lot of audit jobs, a lot of compliance jobs, and that's for lack of a better term, grunt work, which directors will not be doing. Okay, they'll be directing staff to do those type of roles. So I expect a growth in our industry that is material for not just the senior level people, but all levels of people.
And now a word from our sponsor, PlexTrack.
All right, now a word from our sponsor, US Cyber Games. Guys, I want to just give a shout out. If you go to uscybergames.com, you can check this out. Season 2 starts in the fall. Right now, we just got an update that the US team, this is basically like the Cyber Olympics, okay? The team is composed of 18 to 24-year-olds, and they are going to Greece to compete. The United States is competing against the world, effectively, in Greece pretty soon for the first international, well, not the first, but the big international competition. Season 2 is out right now, where you're beginning to screen for team members and candidates. Anyone can apply if you're going to be 18 to 24 before the end of December 2023, and you can travel internationally, and you have a penchant for cybersecurity, or you know someone who does. Check out uscybergames.com. You can apply to try out for the team and get on there. And I'll tell you what, great networking opportunity, very cool contests, and nothing looks better on a job resume than basically being a cyber Olympiad. Okay, so definitely check that out.
PlexTrack is the platform that helps your team deliver results. That's PLEXTRAC.com/CISO series. Cyber attack takes Palermo.
Hold on one second. I did see someone's question about the dark web marketplace being taken down and whether that would just cause them to go deeper. I don't know who asked that question, but like these things are already trying to be deeply hidden, right? It's not like they're just under the surface. They are trying not to get caught. Law enforcement, there's a lot of an anonymity with the users of these marketplaces. There is a reputation system, but it's trivial for law enforcement to have a sock puppet account and get in and, establish like kind of an undercover operation. So they're never going to get away from it.
Fine. Bleeping Computer reports that the city of Palermo in Italy, Sicily, and the 5th largest city in the country, has been shut down for 3 days due to what may be a cyber attack. While the operators of the Killnet hacking group previously threatened Italy with cyber attacks, the group typically used DDoS attacks. Palermo's counselor for innovation said all systems were shut down and isolated from the network, which is behavior consistent with combating ransomware. In the meantime, all of Palermo's services, including its police, can only be reached by phone or fax. Tourists can't access online bookings for museums, theaters, and other public venues, and no one can acquire traffic zone cards for restricted areas like the city center.
All right. I mean, come on. A couple things here. It looks like the city of Palermo suffered a cyber attack, and they shut down all the systems. This is the most this is like the break glass, rip the internet cable out of the wall. You see that meme all the time on social media. This is I've only had to do this once in my career, and it's the nuclear option, effectively. I mean, you do have to still clean up your systems, but when you're trying to contain an incident and stop spread, lateral movement, etc., or C2 traffic from coming down and giving more orders or pushing malware, the only option is to shut down the internet, which is a devastatingly impactful decision and one that you don't make lightly. I'll tell you right now, because you have to be able to fully justify and explain your reasoning and have the CEO agree with you that that was the only option. So city of Palermo, they did it. Sounds like it's a big tourist destination. So people are kind of screwed with their bookings and stuff. It looks like, according to this, Killnet, which is a pro-Russia group, attacked them or is attacking them simply because Ukraine is supporting Ukraine. Italy is supporting Ukraine. Kind of interesting that they chose Palermo. I mean, Italy is a huge country, so why just choose Palermo? They said they don't know if it's denial of service or ransomware. Guys, here's the thing. Denial of service is where you just push tons of traffic at internet resources to overwhelm them and make them inaccessible to everybody. The problem with a denial of service is you have to keep it on, right? It's like opening up a fire hydrant, right? Like and splashing someone with the fire hydrant water. Yeah, they can't get to the fire hydrant because the water's splashing them, and they're like, "Oh my gosh!" But like as soon as you shut the water off, they can walk right up and slap the fire hydrant, right? Same kind of principle with the denial of service, right? The second you turn off the attack, it ends. There's no like lasting impact, really. I mean, I'm being incredibly simple about that, but for the most part, ransomware though has lasting impact. So for them to be down for a couple days and not know the difference if it's denial of service or ransomware is puppycock, it is most definitely ransomware. I would argue. I don't know what kind of ransomware. I don't know what level it is or the efficacy of it, but um, they do mention here that if there is data exfiltration, Palermo could face GDPR violations if the ransomware group or the threat actor group does release the data. I will say it may be even if they don't release the data, it's still considered a breach. That's true with in the United States HIPAA. If a threat actor takes your data, even if they don't release it, you have to assume breach because they have it, right? The old double extortion. The old double extortion. 2 coins. One for ransom, one for extortion.
Twitter to give Musk fire hose access. The Washington Post sources say Twitter agreed to give Elon Musk access to the company's internal fire hose of data in order for his team to evaluate the presence of bots on the platform. Access could be granted as early as later this week, providing a real-time record of tweets as they are sent, devices they're sent from, and information on the account sending them. Twitter maintains in regulatory filings that bots represent less than 5% of accounts on the platform, but say it's difficult for external parties to validate this figure as it uses private internal data from its fire hose to vet which accounts are bots.
Wow. Okay. So Elon Musk, where's our Elon emotes, right? Elon Musk dropping $50 billion
Great cash, homie.
on buying Twitter, and now he's saying, "Well, hold on, I'm not going to buy it just yet. I need to understand how many bots are on the platform." He actually wants to rid the platform of bots altogether, which is cool. So this isn't this isn't really a cybersecurity story, but what I do find interesting. I don't know if there's any other nerds in chat, but I'm a self-professed nerd. Think about like they call it a fire hose for a good reason. Think of the stream of tweets coming out, and then all of the kind of metadata associated with that tweet. So like IP address, username, um, like frequency, device tweeted from, who it mentions in the tweet, etc. Maybe even kind of natural language processing, like what's the attitude of the tweet. They can actually identify that nowadays. So, but one tweet is fine. When you're getting 500 million tweets like a minute or whatever it is, that's an insane amount of data. So, for a nerd perspective, I love thinking about like what this is like a data scientist wet dream. Like you like that amount of data and be able to do something bananas with it. That's pretty cool. It would be interesting if that data set gets made public as a corpus of data because you could argue that an individual could get that data from the platform just in a very manual, crude fashion. But if you could make that corpus available, it would be really, really wild to see.
Intel releases security card reference design. At RSA conference, Intel introduced the NetSec Accelerator reference design. This effectively provides a functional x86 compute node on a PCI Express card that can fit into existing servers using an Intel Atom processor, onboard Ethernet, and up to 32 gigabytes of system memory. The card is intended to enable secure access service edge models for cloud access security brokers, secure web gateways, and firewalls. Typically, this would run as a containerized or virtualized service on a server, but this card allows for dedicated hardware while still reducing infrastructure footprint. Intel won't be making the cards itself, but said it already had OEM commitments from F5 and Silicom to bring products to market.
All right.
Q-
This gives me a popsicle headache. It's too early. The coffee isn't strong enough. I don't know. Um, so this is cool. They're essentially putting an x86 computer on the computer, right? And I guess it's basically to offload some of the functionality or to introduce kind of a trusted computer base, I'm guessing. Um, so it's interesting. It also has built-in functionality where I just saw it. Um, let's see. It talks about it actually said that it had like an 8-port switch built into it, right? Obviously, it would be a virtualized switch, but hold on, let me look for that. 18,000 students, 802, blah 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 blah. Whatever. I definitely saw it. It mentioned a an 8-port switch. So I found I don't understand what you use this for, right? It makes no sense to me. But whatever. It's going to have additional functionality. It probably saves some space inside of actual physical servers, right? Because you can have more compute functionality. I guess the only thing I'd say about this, when they said x86, if there's anyone who's like 40 years old or older in chat, back in the day when you'd get like a 486 SX with, basically all modern Intel chips are x86, right? That's the computer architecture. But there used to be like a turbo button on the outside of the computer, like on the on the desktop shell, and you'd push turbo to make it go faster, which it was always turned on because why the hell would you be like, oh, I don't want turbo today? Like, I haven't had my coffee. I better keep it slow. But I was just thinking how funny it would be for like a turbo button on the Atom processor, just to be like, doot. So, anyways, that's a little bit of nostalgia for you today.
The ransomware returns. The analysts at Trend Micro report seeing a resurgence in ransomware infections from the group, which had reached its peak last year, reaching 49 critical infrastructure organizations in the US. Mandiant noted at the start of 2022, the group seemed to be less active in attacks, experimenting instead with tactical changes. Since April, the group has listed 4 victims on its Tor leak site. Trend Micro notes that its encryptor has continued to develop new features, including more process terminations prior to encryption, including apps like Outlook, Exchange, and MySQL. This prevents the apps from locking files. The encryptor also appears to be more selective in file types, aimed at keeping a system working enough to incentivize paying the ransom.
Okay.
For you,
So, this is just basically another variant of ransomware. It sounds like the Cuba ransomware does what Wizard Spider, aka Conti ransomware gang does. It's called big game hunting. So instead of um, spraying and praying that you get something, they do a little bit of the legwork up front to target larger organizations, obviously with the hope of getting larger paydays. I haven't really heard too much about the Cuba ransomware. You can see this. This is from IDA Pro. If you're familiar with disassembly, this is basically from IDA Pro. So no big deal. It looks like they've got all these um, keywords that they're looking for, like obviously MySQL processor, SQL Server agent. So it looks like the malware looks for SQL Server instances. Obviously, it's looking for, well, it looks for Outlook as well, but it looks like it's trying to target SQL Server databases um, and terminates those services, obviously, before it encrypts the database. Um, so let's see. Yeah, whatever. I mean, keep your eyes open. Um, There's no available decryptor that victims can use to recover their files. So I guess that's not entirely true because for free. Yeah, I was gonna say you can definitely buy the decryptor from the ransomware group. They'll definitely sell it to you. So whatever. Just another piece of ransomware, another ransomware group. This is a ransomware threat actors really crack me up, man. They're like so good at customer service. Like Cuba ransomware welcomes you. Thank you. Have fun. Um, So whatever, be mindful, whether it's Cuba ransomware, whether it's Hive, LockyBit, whatever it is, practice good cyber hygiene, which is both putting in defenses to protect your organization from ransomware infection or limiting the impact of when the infection occurs, and ensuring that your recovery related controls, your business continuity controls are in place and tested. Again, you do not want, listen, you're going to like someone in chat is going to hear this and they're going to be like, yeah, they're definitely going to nod. They're going to do nothing about it. And then they're going to suffer a ransomware incident and they're going to be like, oh, I totally should have listened. If you haven't prepped for a ransomware incident, at least walked through it at a tabletop, you're doing yourself a grave disservice, because when you suffer a ransomware incident, the last thing you're going to want to do is figure out how to respond to these things. It's going to be like a bunch of, I don't know, like a bunch of clowns getting out of a clown car bumping into each other, right? It's just going to be a mess. You're going to be stressed out. It's going to be high anxiety. Leadership is going to be all up your butt about what are we doing? What are we doing? Give an update. And you're like, I'm trying to work here. You're killing me right now. So anyways, just be mindful of that. All right. So that's going to do it for today's news briefing. Let me spend a minute and chat and share some stuff with you guys. There is no Simply Cyber live episode tonight. I've got some big stuff going on this weekend that I need to even start working on today to get prepped. But you've probably seen Jack's spot. She's out at RSA this week, busting her butt with live streams every single day, huge interviews with different industry experts. And she'll be meeting with Ron Warner, CEO at Cyber AAA, at 11:45 a.m. today. I'm assuming that is in 3 hours. Yeah. So, give Jax some love. She's at 681 subs right now. I know she's got a big goal to hit 700 by the end of the week. So if you haven't checked her out, give her a watch. If you just go onto YouTube and look for Outpost Gray, you can see it at the top left here. Check it out, and might be your speed. All right. Let me look at chat really quickly here, guys. Uh-oh, did I cut out for a second? I don't know if I cut out. All right. Ron's a great guy to listen to as well. Nice, Paul. Thank you. Hey, Colin, good stories today. Yeah. Hopefully you guys are feeling informed and up to date on the top stories of the day. Thank you, Jim Wales, for reminding folks to hit that like button. If you're into this, hit subscribe. Literally, all the YouTubers say hit the bell for notifications, right? Like it's almost like contrived at this point to hear it. But I go live every weekday morning at 8 a.m. If you want to be here live, it definitely seems that most people prefer to be here live over watching on replay. If you want to be here live, you don't want to miss it. People get busy in the morning with the coffee, getting the kids going, taking the dogs out, whatever it is. If you hit the bell for notification, you will get like a notification, right? Obviously on your phone or on your computer that says, hey, Simply Cyber just went live. Go check it out. So that is the reason to hit the bell for notifications, not to pump my numbers or anything like that. All right. Live at 5, Crop Duster. I love it. All right. Nathan Bolin. Jim Lund, I appreciate it. I know you get up early on the West Coast. Dr. Joseph, appreciate that. Hopefully you guys attended the Let's Play live stream yesterday. Let me tease one other thing because it is pretty awesome. I'm going to go to simplycyber.io/streams for the upcoming live streams. And you could see here just next Wednesday, June 15th, we will be doing another one of these highly, entertaining and very educational and a lot of logistical coordination heads up Let's Play, where I will be playing Red versus Blue live against Eric Taylor, who will also be playing live, obviously. I will be the red team operator coming after him. He will be the defender trying to protect the organization. ThreatGen YouTube channel, you can see, if you do ! ThreatGen, you'll get a link to it. We'll be doing sports casting. So it'll be like an esport event where Clint Bodungeon and Simon Lindstedt will be broadcasting both my feed and Eric's feed and giving expert analysis and commentary on what we're doing. It's going to be very, very cool, very, very fun. I'm excited about it. The trash talking has already started. I've already thought through my attack methodology on what I will be doing, and I'm on the fence about even doing it because I feel like it's almost unfair. The eviscerating attack methodology that I've come up with. I want to be, a good sport about the competition and not just go for the jugular. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it goes, but you'll have to tune in to see. It will be at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, June 15th. Okay. Oh yeah, you gotta love my laser eyes too. I'm coming after you, Eric. All right, Joel Belton, I appreciate it. All right, Junior, thank you so much. I have not done a live with David Bombal. I haven't even really exchanged notes or messages with David Bombal. Neil Bridges and David are associated, and I'm associated with Neil, so I think I could get over to him, but haven't had that opportunity. I will be playing as the red team against Eric, who will be the blue team. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. It's 8:40, so I'm going to end the stream here. I appreciate all of you for spending your morning with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you feel empowered based on the threat briefing to be able to go forward and kick major butt as a practitioner, or if you have an interview, good luck with the interview. Share this knowledge, absolutely dominate, and then come back and share with us that you got the job. All right? Love it. All right, guys, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the final threat briefing of the day. Goodbye, everybody.